Right now, on the National Weather Desk, bitter cold air sends temperatures plunging, breaking records in dozens of cities.
We are down by 30 to 40 degrees compared to yesterday morning.
Why did it get so cold so quickly?
With snow on the ground, there's less of that energy, so we'll cool down even more.
Why the cold weather can be bad for your health.
Winter weather can be extremely dangerous in so many ways.
We'll highlight our meteorologists' feeds in this week's edition of Social Meteorology.
It's actually quieter when it snows. Did you know that?
And the amazing never-before-documented journey this right whale just made.
From our nation's capital, this is the National Weather Desk.
Good morning and welcome to the National Weather Desk. I'm meteorologist Matt Ritter. The coldest air of the season is over the northern plains, shattering records in dozens of cities. And by tomorrow, parts of the Northeast will feel the big chill. Check out some of these low temperatures this morning. It was 6 degrees below zero in Minneapolis with wind chills near 18 below. In Green Bay, the mercury fell to 0 with the wind chill at 14 degrees below zero. Cedar Rapids, Iowa fell all the way to 8 degrees below zero and had a wind chill of 22 below. It was also 8 below in Sioux City, South Dakota, with a wind chill of 18 degrees below zero. And while the northern plains are seeing record-breaking temperatures right now, the cold air pretty far south has reached pretty far south, with the Texas Panhandle and Oklahoma seeing temperatures in the 20s this morning. On Friday, the Northeast will see lows in the single digits. Even places like Dallas and Memphis will see lows at or near freezing. Some parts of the mid-Atlantic could see some snow. Iowa meteorologist Rebecca Kopelman shows us how quickly the weather changed in just 24 hours.
And right now we are down by 30 to 40 degrees compared to yesterday morning. Of course, yesterday we were ahead of the cold front that led to temperatures dropping through the day. So we were sitting up at times even above the freezing mark. And now we are not even above the zero mark in many spots, as we are sitting in some record breaking cold with 6 below in Cedar Rapids, 8 below in Waterloo, 12 below in Tama, and it is feeling even colder. We do have a bit of wind out there, is making it feel much lower than those temperatures. I did want to mention that we do have records that have been broken so far in Cedar Rapids. We're at 6 below, can still drop several degrees here, but broke the record by at least 1 degree so far from 2005. Waterloo also cracked their record.
And the cold weather is no stranger to Iowa, but after record-breaking snows this past weekend, they're bracing for more record cold temperatures. Meteorologist David Holtman explains why they're seeing this early blast of frigid weather in Cedar Rapids and says it's due to the albedo effect.
Albedo is the measure of how reflective a surface is. The fresh powder that fell both on Saturday and Monday is white and bright and tends to reflect over 70% of the sun's energy back into the atmosphere. This time of year, we usually don't have much snow on the ground, if any at all. That leaves the much darker bare ground, which normally absorbs to 90% of the solar radiation. At night, that energy is reflected back into the atmosphere. With snow on the ground, there's less of that energy, so we'll cool down even more. Now, of course, the snow alone doesn't lead to these extreme temperatures, but combine that with snow with cold air originating from the Arctic, along with clear skies and light winds, we turn a cold night into a record-breaking one, especially for early December.
And the dropping temperatures and bitter cold aren't only uncomfortable, winter weather can also be dangerous, even deadly. Mandy Gaither has simple reminders on how to stay safe in cold conditions.
When the temperature falls, the danger rises. In 2023, more than 1,000 deaths in the U.S. were due to excessive cold or hypothermia. And in the months ahead, experts are urging everyone to stay safe.
Winter weather can be extremely dangerous in so many ways.
The American Red Cross says if you do go out in extremely cold weather, wear layers of loose clothing and a coat, hat, mittens, and water-resistant boots. Using a scarf to cover your face and mouth can also help. And inside, if you use a space heater or fireplace, keep anything that could catch fire at least 3 feet away from the heat. And to prevent carbon monoxide poisoning, don't use an oven to warm your home and only use generators outdoors.
This past year, the Red Cross has responded to more than 48,000 home fires. And this time of year in particular, a lot of that is caused because people are just trying to stay warm.
You should also know signs of potentially deadly hypothermia, including shivering, exhaustion, confusion, fumbling hands, memory loss, slurred speech, and drowsiness. When it comes to frostbite, symptoms can include a white or grayish yellow skin area, skin that feels unusually firm or waxy, and numbness.
Make sure to get out of the cold immediately and to seek medical attention urgently.
And the winter storm that dropped heavy snow across parts of the East Coast this week eventually turned into a so-called bomb cyclone. What are those and how do they form? Meteorologist Violet Schreiber explains.
But what classifies a weather system as a bomb cyclone? Well, bombogenesis occurs when an area of low pressure slides up the East Coast and there's a large temperature gradient between the warm ocean temperatures and the really cold air over the land. And this temperature difference helps to rise the air and drop the pressure. But in order for it to be considered a bomb cyclone, in a 24-hour time period, you need the pressure to drop 24 millibars or more. And this can happen any time of year, but it's most likely from October to March and can result in very heavy precipitation and produce winds in excess of 70 miles per hour. But these happen a lot more often than you think. A 2021 study for a 40-year period showed that 18 bomb cyclones happened per year near North America. But what is a nor'easter and what are the two types of them? Miller A happens when we have an area of low pressure down in the Gulf of Mexico or on the southeast coast along an old front, a stationary front. It intensifies rapidly as it moves up the coastline. Mid-Atlantic and New England states are usually hit the hardest, but icy conditions can reach as far south as Georgia and the Carolinas. Severe weather is also possible in Florida. An example of this was the superstorm in '93. Miller B, the second type of nor'easter, is when low pressure starts in the Midwest and moves east towards the Appalachian Mountains. It weakens as it reaches the mountains, but redevelops on the eastern side along the coast. And then it turns northward. The warm Gulf Stream water helps it intensify as it moves towards the northeast, and heavy snow is possible for the New England and Mid-Atlantic. An example of this was February 5th and 6th in 2010, the North American blizzard. The more you know about nor'easters and bombogenesis.
In northern Kentucky, a fast-growing county is grappling with more traffic and maintenance. In the winter, that means more roads to plow. Boone County wanted to improve the efficiency of its snow plowing operations, and they got some help from the University of Kentucky. Christian Hauser reports.
Robert Franksman says the county had a good routing system in place. They just felt it was time to take a look at making it more efficient.
As Boone County develops, I mean, it's always a challenge to add new 5 miles of street every year, right? So those would get tacked onto existing routes, and some of those routes would become taxed.
So the county looks south to Lexington and the University of Kentucky's route optimization project. It took about 8 months to create a new plan with the most efficient routes based on where the county's 3 salt barns are located.
We went from one route that was nearly 4 hours long to now our longest route is just over 2 hours, right at 2 hours.
Public Works Director Tom Logan says plow drivers noticed the more efficient routes.
Many stated that they were actually capable of completing the routes without having to come back and reload salt. That's pretty important as an optimization, the ability to continue to treat roads.
The data shows the county saved 10 hours of drive time under the new system. With 40 plow trucks, that's 15 minutes saved per driver. Logan says it's not only more efficient, it means the roads will be safer for everyone.
If you think about that, 15 minutes is a make or break difference between someone in a rural area. That means you have to apply the salt, allow it to sort of work its magic, and that 15 minutes can make the difference between getting that road cleared.
Because drivers are able to more efficiently use the salt they pick up, they're not driving back to the salt barns as often, which means more streets are being treated quicker.
A first-of-its-kind sighting in Massachusetts waters. The Center for Coastal Studies in New England recently spotted a North Atlantic right whale in Massachusetts Bay. Remarkably, it came all the way from Ireland, where it was spotted last year. Researchers with several whale groups figured it out by looking at its markings. Whale crossings across the Atlantic like this is almost unheard of. That's 3,000 miles away. Researchers say this suggests the endangered animals are searching widely for a suitable habitat. And check this out. Cameras early this morning captured the St. Mary's Conquest sailing out of Manitowoc, Wisconsin. It's a cement barge that operates on the Great Lakes. Manitowoc was once home to a robust shipbuilding industry. It currently houses the Wisconsin Maritime Museum. And coming up on the National Weather Desk, we'll head to South Carolina to find out why dolphins in the area have been stranding themselves on local beaches. And we'll learn about an innovative shoreline project that's allowing nature to restore what's been lost to the weather.
I'm meteorologist Charlie Lopresti with a look at the northeast. Colder air is moving into the northeast over the next 24 hours. Daytime highs today will be in the 30s and low 40s. Don't get too comfortable with those values. We're tracking the cold front moving through New York during the morning hours today. It'll be moving through New England during the early afternoon or midday hours. You might get a snow shower or squall with that feature. Then the wind picks up out of the west-northwest. Cold air moves in tonight. We have lows in the single numbers with daytime highs low to mid-20s.
I'm Chief Meteorologist Gerard Bailey. Here's a look at the Mid-Atlantic region. A few snow showers possible as we move into Thursday morning. A strong front's going to pass through, but dry. We'll likely see partly sunny skies and cold temperatures arriving as we get through Thursday. Friday, another disturbance moves through the region. We could be talking about some rain to the south, but even snow across parts of Virginia into Maryland. And temperatures will be a lot colder. Upper 30s to around 40 on Thursday. Will be in the 30s for highs on Friday.
I'm meteorologist Charlotte Carl. Afternoon high temperatures behind the front for some of us, dipping temperatures down into the 30s, 40s, low 50s for Birmingham. That does mean that we have the possibility to see a little bit of snow or potentially a wintry mix. That'll be closer to the I-40 area. Showers and storms stretching from Alabama, Mississippi into parts of northern Georgia. We're going to see this tail end of the front moving through the Panhandle by Friday early morning.
Weather Window, presented by the National Weather Desk.
Only the tops of a few buildings seen piercing the fog along Alabama's Gulf Coast this week. Also in Alabama, river fog made of tiny water droplets plus some sunshine and diffraction helped make a fog bow. And this amazing morning rainbow appeared near Las Vegas. Fog bows and rainbows are related, but with a rainbow, the sunlight refracts, reflects, and refracts again, dispersing the light into 7 colors.
Dolphins are widely known for their intelligence, playfulness, and traveling in groups known as pods. When they get sick, though, they tend to strand on beaches. Fallon Mears spoke with officials in South Carolina to find out why 2 dolphins became stranded last week.
I'd say 90% of our dolphins that we respond to, they wash up dead, or at least they're reported dead. You know, something could have happened overnight, certainly, but they probably die, you know, out in the ocean, and then they get washed up with the tides or the currents.
A bottlenose juvenile female was examined Sunday, appearing in robust condition.
The most obvious thing we found was a severe case of parasites in its stomach. And these animals all have parasites in their stomach, but if something like your immune system is low or you're fighting something else, that can start taking over.
A bottlenose adult female was found on Wednesday and was likely a coastal dolphin due to her size.
This animal had been actively feeding, which is, you know, a little more concerning because it seems like maybe it had something more acute happen. It did have signs of a mild pneumonia, but nothing that would cause it to die so abruptly.
Russ says they use feeding to help put the puzzle pieces together.
We use feeding a lot because if you're not feeling really good, just like us, you may stop feeding, or vice versa.
And dolphins may pick up viruses or bacteria just like us.
They like to hang out with each other, and every time they blow, if you think about it, it's kind of like a sneeze, they can pass an illness to one another. And if you're a healthy animal, you can fight off a pneumonia. It's just like you getting a cold or, an illness.
The team is still determining the death on one of the dolphins, but human interaction has been ruled out.
And staying in the Carolinas, where an innovative living shoreline project is underway along the coast, it's an experiment that's allowing nature to restore what's been lost. Andrew James has that story.
For the past 5 months, each visit to Morgan Park for Elizabeth Fly brings something new. She leads the Nature Conservancy's resilience team, and before they stepped foot on this point, where the Sandpit River meets the Winyaw Bay, the park was becoming more of a beach.
We were seeing a shoreline that was obviously eroding. It looks very sandy, it looks very beach-like, but it's not supposed to be that way.
It's about an acre long, where the maritime forest takes the brunt of the bay's winds and waves. Fly says that her team saw a unique opportunity here to do something that's never been done before to fight erosion along the coast.
We worked with the city of Georgetown and realized if nothing is done, Morgan Park would eventually go away. So that's where we worked together to try to come up with a plan.
After years of work to get state approval, her team, along with community volunteers and private donors with the Boyd Foundation, they got to work building a wood-based living shoreline.
When you walk out, the biggest thing you see are these pilings. There's horizontal branches along the bottom of that, and that is trapping the sediment in the sand as it's passing through. And then as you get further on shore, we have these, what we call manufactured wire reefs. They're also doing a great job of trapping the sand and the sediment. And then further up on shore, you have another wooden feature called a wattle fence, and that's up on shore, and again, just traps sediment as the water washes through.
The breakwater pilings, fencing, and crates took them a little over a year to install. Throughout that process, though, Fly and her team saw measurable growth on the shoreline.
This is actually probably about a foot of sand or sediment that has been trapped by this fencing.
A base for new life to take root and grow.
The whole point is to let nature grow into itself, and so it increases its efficiency and effectiveness over time.
And over time, she hopes that this project, though a small piece of shoreline, can bring a big change to how South Carolina restores and preserves its most precious asset.
Nature is resilient, and nature has these solutions that we can really utilize, and projects like these, help educate people about that and bring awareness to the opportunities that we can use nature.
And time now for a segment we call Social Meteorology, where we show you a sample of what our meteorologists are posting on social media. We begin with TikTok post from Natalie Walters about snow and sound.
I want you to listen carefully. Do you hear that? You don't hear much, right? It's actually quieter when it snows. Did you know that?
Now, the reason why is because snow is porous, and the six-sided crystals of a snowflake have air pockets in them, and those air spaces help absorb sound waves, making it quieter. Now, once the snow begins to melt and compact, it loses its silencing ability, so enjoy it while it lasts.
When you clear snow from your vehicle, make sure you clear all your windows, your mirrors, so you can see properly, but also don't forget about the top of your vehicle. It is a fine in many states if you don't clear off the top of your vehicle. It may be harder to reach. That's why if you can get an extension, snow brush that extends out, it may help you. But don't forget, a lot of people will try to remove the snow from their windshields and the mirrors, but forget about this, and then that blows on the car behind you, and that can cause a lot of problems, especially if the snow gets packed down. So make sure you clear the top of your vehicle as well as your windshields, headlights, and especially around those windshield wipers. Also, this is a good time of year. Another tip, just to have a supply of windshield washer fluid, because you're going to go through a lot of it when the weather is snowy and sloppy like it is today.
It's not just regular fog, it's freezing fog. Yes, it is its own thing, and unfortunately it can cause a lot of problems on the road. So let's talk about freezing fog. Freezing fog forms just like regular fog. It is just that, fog. The only thing that makes a difference, temperatures are below freezing. In order for freezing fog to become a big problem, that fog needs to be pretty dense in spots. We're talking less than a half mile to even quarter mile visibility. When fog gets that thick, it'll create a real thin layer or rime on the surface of the roads that are below freezing, and when it makes contact, it will instantly freeze. This can cause big problems on roads, creating a real thin layer of ice, often black ice, that motorists don't see. Especially elevated surfaces like bridges and overpasses, this can become a real troublemaker for commute time. Just use common sense. If you know temperatures are below freezing and you see thick fog that is starting to develop, just know and understand that freezing fog could be possible and to slow down.
And for more great content like this, be sure to follow us on social media. We post content from our team of 200 meteorologists across the country. You can find us on all your favorite social media platforms. Just search the National Weather Desk or scan the QR code on the bottom left corner of your screen. And time now for a short break, but first we take to the skies over Florida's Bridge to the Keys.
Good Thursday morning, everyone. I'm meteorologist Andrew Michael. Pretty quiet across the Midwest for the day today. Got a few flurries kind of on the edge of the Midwest and a little bit of lake effect snow as well. Getting into the day tomorrow, we got some snow showers trying to move their way in across the northern plains there, and that's going to try to build a little bit more as we head into Saturday. So some accumulating snow is potentially there for Saturday across the northern plains.
Good morning, I'm meteorologist Alex Garcia. Here's a look at your regional weather. Wow, it's really cold in Amarillo this morning. 78 degrees, we're looking 33 out for Oklahoma City. Into the 50s and 60s, warm and humid down to the south. Front zipping down, upper level system bringing rain all the way from San Antonio to Houston into Louisiana. We'll see some sunshine up toward the north, but it'll still be cold. I'm meteorologist Alex Garcia, and that's a look at your regional weather.
Well, hi there and a good Thursday morning to everybody. I'm meteorologist Shannon O'Donnell. Out west, we are starting to get a little more damp for Seattle and Portland. Rain returns to the Emerald City today, and so does the heavy mountain snow over the Cascades. Otherwise, we're looking at around a king tides, leading to some coastal flooding from Washington through Oregon and California, and loads of winter white in the high country in Montana and Idaho, right over the Continental Divide and the Rockies. And that's the scene from here.
You are watching the National Weather Desk.
Sometimes measuring snow totals can be all over the place, literally, even in the same neighborhood. Meteorologist Grayson Freund explains how you can get accurate numbers.
First, find a flat area away from trees and buildings. The easiest method to use is a snowboard, a light-colored flat board roughly 2 feet by 2 feet in size. Place it on the ground or on fresh snow, and don't forget to mark its location with a flag or stake so you're able to find it after it snows. If you don't have a snowboard, a flat surface like a picnic table or a deck would work, or any flat ground surface. Stick your yardstick straight down into the snow until it reaches the board or the ground, then record the measurement to the nearest tenth of an inch. Another tip is to take a few measurements around the same area and average them for the best accuracy.
And you may want to keep your eyes on the sky tonight for one of the year's most astronomical spectacles, a supermoon. It'll be at its fullest at 6:14 p.m. Eastern Time. It'll be the last of 3 back-to-back supermoons of the year. A supermoon occurs when the moon is at its nearest point to Earth, which makes it appear larger and fuller. We'll be right back. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm meteorologist Matt Ritter. Make it a great day, and we'll see you right back here tomorrow for more of the National Weather Desk.